Good morning, my lovely listeners and viewers. Today I have another very lovely guest with me, Miss Ruth Griffen. She is an educator par excellence. She is a trainer for the trainers. She is the go to person for any kind of problem, any kind of challenge any teacher might face in the classroom. So, how are you, Miss Ruth Griffen?
Thank you so very much for the lovely introduction and for having me on the show as well. I'm doing really well. Yeah. How are you?
Great. Miss Ruth Griffen, you have no idea how much of an honor it is to have you here with me. And you have recently completed a PhD and you had a colloquium yesterday. Yeah? And
No, it's actually part of my PhD. And please call me Ruth. Yeah, I
okay,
would be more comfortable if you call me
all
Ruth.
right.
Um, the colloquium was today, and it's part of the PhD journey. And I haven't completed my PhD yet. It's ongoing, and I'm enjoying every bit of it. The ups and the downs and the hills and the valleys and everything in between and I don't know why people are so under pressure when they say that, oh my god, I'm going to get myself enrolled in PhD and God knows what's going to happen, and I will go all nuts and cuckoo and boggled with the kind of. I think it's all about how you manage your time and how you manage your research journey. Yeah, so I'm enjoying it. It's been 1 year into the program.
That's
Yeah.
great. Okay. Ruth, could you tell us about yourself? If you could just introduce yourself to my audience, because I mean, I know everything about you, but I mean, they would like sort of, like an introduction.
True, true. We do go back quite more than a decade, I would say. Yeah,
Yeah.
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 So, well, I've been a professional now for more than 18 years. And the industries that I've worked with is travel agencies, consultancy for foreign education. Also, I've been working in NGO for more than 8 years. That was another world, I must say. Going to the rural areas and experiencing that a lifestyle that simple and trying to build capacity there. I mean, initially I was just so nervous where to begin from and what does capacity building mean for these people. But then when you see success and when you see changes happening and when you see people getting educated and moving on with their lives and making better choices, um, you feel great. You feel great about life as a whole. Then I wanted to switch over and move to Beaconhouse. That's when we met, and
Yeah.
that's where I was a full-time teacher trainer. I worked in the academic team as a senior academic officer. Switched roles there. COVID happened. A lot of people got laid off. I was one of them. A very sad hit. Um, that's the time when I thought that, yeah, most of my educational career is my career as a professional is based on education. So probably it's a good idea that I take admissions in masters, because most of the jobs that I were being offered when I was conducting interviews for getting myself interviewed for the next job, I figured out that they will be done from home. So the dynamics are changing. So why not just save more time and get myself enrolled in an online educational leadership and management master's program, which was a research based. And luckily it was on 50% off because of whole pandemic thing going on. And I graduated in 22, then got myself admitted in a PhD program in last year, same month. Yeah, November. So here I am in front of you. Yeah, in a
So
nutshell.
yeah. And Ruth, where are you currently? Where are you currently working?
I'm in Asia Pacific University, and it's in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, and I will be here for another 2 years. I'm working in their digital learning hub, which is another interesting department. The department that is associated with trainings and induction of the lecturers. And now that AI is in the picture and generative AI is all a big ball game in the
Yeah,
education
that
industry. So we conduct a lot of trainings around AI for various groups of people.
all
Yeah, so
right.
I'm very happy to be
So
a part of the team here. A lot to learn. Yeah.
all right. So Ruth, how long? Don't you miss Pakistan? How long do you intend to stay in Malaysia?
I another 2 years because the degree is going to take another 2 years. I intend to complete it by the end of next year. My timeline is designed in a way, but then I just gave myself a cushion of 6 months. If the data collection would take more time, or write up would take more time, or any other part of the research would prolong, so I do need to have that cushion. Um, Missing Pakistan, yes and no, because the roots are there. Most of my career was built up there, most of my education was there. But my family had roots in Scandinavia as well, and part of my family is in Sweden right now. Other half is in Canada. My brother, he moved to Canada for good 14 years. He's there now. And my sister moved to USA 18 years ago, something like that. So everybody's spread out. Yeah. So
Yeah.
when I look back at my country, I miss the food and the climate and going for the summer breaks up in the northern areas. Those things. But when I miss my family, it's not associated with missing
With
Pakistan. It's yeah.
yeah. Yeah, because they're all over the world really, and you just travel to them. So how is Kuala Lumpur, the place? Uh, how does it compare with Lahore?
Um, just the other day, I was having a conversation with one of the lecturers here, and she used a very interesting term, um, rainbow nation. They call themselves
Mm,
a rainbow nation, and it is so very true. People from all around the world not only visit Malaysia for tourism, but it has somehow become an educational hub as well,
yeah.
interestingly. Yeah, because
Mm,
it's not costly at all. Education, even your living expenditures are not costly as compared to Europe or USA or any other first world country. When it comes to how developed it is, yeah, I would say they have matched the standards of any developed countries, especially KL. I haven't been to other parts of the country. It's a very small country comparative to as compared to Pakistan. Probably it's a little bigger than Punjab. Um,
oh,
yeah, the entire Malaysia, it's like an island. So
yeah.
then there are connecting islands in the vicinity as well. But Malaysia itself is not a very big region. Um, Fascinating thing about Malaysia is that it has only one season. Although they call it two seasons, rainy and not rainy season, but for me coming from Pakistan, I see it only as one season. In a way, it's good that you don't have to change your wardrobe every 6 months or so. I think it has more or less become the same phenomenon in Pakistan as well because of the global warming and climate
Yeah,
change.
yeah, yeah,
So,
that
but
is true.
here it's mostly warm and it's mostly raining. They call it peak of rainy season from November till late January, when it rains almost every day, and it's very pleasant to see the rain here. It has a different feel. Yeah, yeah,
Really?
yeah.
Okay.
It's
That's
it's cloudy right now, and it's gonna probably rain very soon.
okay.
Yeah.
And what about power outages? Do you have power cuts the way we do, or it's all smooth sailing there as far as electricity supply goes?
The lady in the back is Dr. Fumiko for Japan from Japan, and she's the program leader for Masters of Education, Applied Education. One of the very good colleagues. We were just having lunch an hour ago, and we were discussing the current situation of Pakistan, how saddening it is. And I've been trying. I'm in close contact with most of my colleagues and friends back in Lahore and other parts of the country. As you know, that I traveled extensively for my work as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
So she said that she saw some pictures and she heard the news, and then I started telling the first hand experience of people who are there, because I was texting my friends and I didn't get any response from them since last 3 days. And I jokingly said, "Are we done here? Are you fed up of me? Did I do something wrong?" I jokingly said, because I thought
Yeah.
that I knew they would be engaged, or they are probably not available at the moment. But this was the
Yeah.
longest tenure. They never even opened my message, and there was no, it was radio silence altogether. But this morning, one of my best friends, her name is Sumera. So she told me how her husband traveled back from Dubai after 2 weeks of a business trip, and it took him to reach home in 6 hours, a very short amount of distance, which would take only hour and a half. It took him 6 hours, and she was trying to tell me how difficult it is at the moment without electricity, without internet connectivity. And I almost forgot in one last year. I almost forgot how it feels to have power cut, or
Yeah.
yeah, the dynamics around it.
The,
No, we
the
don't have any power cuts here. It's a as I said, comparatively it's a developed country.
hmm.
Yeah, yeah.
So, Ruth, tell us more about your work. Like, what exactly is it that you do, and do you think your degree is what you're going to learn in your PhD? Is it going to be applicable to the Pakistani context, or it's like what is your thesis going to be about, and what you're going to do with it at the end of it all?
I just had my colloquium this morning, and one of the examiners gave a very cute comment, I would say, for lack of a better word. I found it cute when they said that it's not only your PhD thesis, it's going to be a consultancy project for the Ministry of Higher Education in Malaysia, and it was a compliment in itself. And I felt so humble, and this is who I am. I try to do things in a very practical way. uh, if I just do something for the sake of studies, and it does not have any practical implication at the end of the day, I think I would be wasting my 3 years in PhD just to have a thesis published and printed somewhere on the shelf. Is not what I look forward to doing. If it is applicable in Pakistan, I think yes, the generalizability of the entire study is quite wide, and I think the implication is global, including Pakistan. Developed and developing countries both would benefit from it, the way I see it. How so? Because I have identified a gap in the literature that says that there is a skill set gap and mismatch. The demand of the industry is widening and is becoming very specific. It's not general anymore. For instance, we both are from the educational sector. When we hire a teacher, okay, fine, we do need subject matter specialists, and we do look for a maths degree when we are hiring a maths teacher, or a science degree when we are hiring a science teacher. But we also are very keen on other skill sets and competencies that are needed to be a good teacher, a good mentor, facilitator, administrator in a school setting. So that very part is is missing in the higher education, when the industry is becoming so sensitive and is becoming so focused and is oriented in a way where generative AI is stepping in, IoT is stepping in, blockchain is there, the whole dynamic of the society, the whole fabrication of the society itself is changing. And what to do with this mismatch of industry, which is responsible for producing futuristic workforce, and they are
Hmm.
lagging behind. It's just that it's the same way that the fashion trends in the society is something else. And imagine Cardi and Sapphire and all these brands, if they start producing something which is not in the demand. Higher
Yeah.
education is doing exactly the same. They are
Yeah.
graduating individuals which do not have the capacity to fulfill the demands of the industry or the market out there. So how to meet that gap requires a research, and I hope that this study is going to be rigorous enough to develop a framework, and then at the end I will be evaluating its robustness, and that's how the study is going to be, what it is going to be about.
All right. Okay. So, what is your what is your hypothesis? What was your um, uh, like your motivation in conducting this research? I can understand that you want to identify the gap, but
Hmm.
what do you think is going to be the solution to this problem?
Uh, the journey of finding the gap was very interesting. Normally, we have a timeline given by the management that this is how you're supposed to conduct your research. Come up with the research gap, then you go for your first colloquium, then you go for your PD, your proposal defense, then the whole rest of the process follows, like the data collection, analysis, and how you write up the discussion conclusion part. For me, I took good 10 months. At the end of the 10th month, I was like, okay, maybe PhD. Yeah, people are right that it's probably not for me, and I'm just wasting time reading, 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 reading. And then I had to write an email of justification to the management, to inform them that I'm not wasting my time here, or I'm not just going out having party time. I'm literally sitting down with my laptop and I'm trying to read, and I have literally changed seven major areas before I delved into this final one, where teachers' professional development was also a area which was very close to my heart. Then generative AI in higher education, I delved into that as well. Then because of generative AI and use of generative AI for assignment making, it makes the whole teaching and learning, um, uh, it gives a paradigm shift to teaching and learning, basically. So I wanted to see if students have the access to a tool that can generate assignments on their behalf, and there is now not only intellectual property uh, at question, but cognitive property as well, because critical thinking, creativity, all of this, first and foremost, has to come from an individual's own brain. That is our initial concept of being a holistic human being. Here,
Mm.
the whole fundamental framework of a holistic human being is being questioned when we are thinking of integration of technology in the cognitive process of human beings, to a point where there would be a blend between the two, the human cognition plus the technological advancement that is being integrated. So the earlier, if you remember from Beaconhouse trainings, we describe a holistic development model as emotional, spiritual, social, and physical development. When we are trying to set up a curricula for a growing child. We are trying to satisfy the parents, our customers, that this is what our frame of references, that we are working on four main strands. But now I believe we have indulged into technological advancements to a point where a holistic development of a human being involves technological aspect as well, and it's very scary. It's very scary to look at the to look at the whole changing landscape, because it's beyond our identity as humanity, as human beings. It's not only global south or global north, it's now one global order that needs to be unified under policies and under regulations, how to use this huge change that is being, it's like a tsunami. It's coming towards us. We can't do anything but to make adopt it. Yeah, make
Yeah, we have
policies
to,
around it.
yeah,
Yeah,
around it, and we have to. I mean, it's not. We can't stop the flow. I mean,
yeah,
it's coming. So we
yeah,
have to prepare ourselves in the best possible
yeah,
way that we can. So,
yeah. So coming back to your question, sorry,
yeah,
I just
yeah, yeah.
discuss too much into technological side. So when I was reading, I noticed that there are five main paradigms in the research that are being highly they are being highlighted, and they are being highly talked about. One is environment, because of climate change and the environmental dynamics that are being shattered because of our lifestyles. Then there is this industry revolution, which is being altered because of generative AI. And then there is this Web 5.0, which is Internet of Things and blockchain, and yeah, part of generative AI. You must have heard about metaverse, where virtual reality comes in, augmented reality, extended reality. And then comes in society. Society 5.0 is another phenomenon which is coined by Japanese government, and their stance is that whatever development is happening, it should be human centric. Humans should be at the center of it all. So when I read the literature in all these five different paradigms, I thought to myself, this is how the world looks like right now. We have society 5.0, we have industry revolution 5.0, we have web 5.0, and then we have environment 5.0. That means education has to also lift itself up out of the traditional teaching and learning methodologies and
Uh, just
pedagogies.
question. Because you're such a master of your subject. What is Web 5.0? Okay, I can understand that the Japanese model wants the ultimate human, a society in which the human being is the master of it all. But what about robots? I mean, they are the most technologically advanced nation, and they are at the forefront of technology, really. I mean, they've taken the full brunt of it, because they were at the forefront. So what does Web 5.0 and all of that mean? Could you like sort
These
of,
are different.
yeah.
Yeah, these are different frameworks. They are coming from different parts of the world through different researchers, and these are paradigms. You can use another word, generations, for them. So as the world moves, just like when you're using mobile, you have three and four and five. I forgot the particular name for it.
Yeah, the iPhone thingy, which keeps
No,
on
no, no.
adding, y-
The internet
no.
connectivity,
Okay, yeah, yeah. The
I
3G and the 4G and
3G,
the
exactly.
5G. Yeah.
You
Okay,
see
okay, okay.
how we
That is good.
advance, yeah, how we
Okay, right,
advance,
right.
and we give each advancement level a particular name to measure its distinction from the previous one. So it's the same way when we say that web, industry, society, and environment are in their fifth generation. That means that they have progressed from their elementary stage up till now, and each generation has its own advancements. It has its own innovations, and a lot of things in that very particular generation has taken place, which distinguish that generation from the previous one, or the upcoming one. So right now the literature somehow is moving parallel. The literature shows that the world is moving parallel in its advancement in society, web, industry, and environment, education. So, all of these frameworks are in their fifth generation, and they require an extensive study so that we can match the demand of their advancement and design our curricula, design our pedagogies to educate our generations at the moment so they can become futuristic workforce. When they get graduated, they should be useful. They're not
Hmm.
obsolete altogether. Paying a
Hmm.
hefty fee, getting a degree, and then getting into the market, and they get a shock, not only cultural shock, industrial shock as well, web shock as well. I'm not
Yeah.
familiar with I'm not familiar with this approach of communication, or yeah, everything around it.
Yeah. So, like your thesis is going to identify all these paradigms and where we need to make a change in the curricula.
Yes, yes, the paradigms are already there. They have their own established framework, and they have their own established way of development. We will be studying. The study is going to identify the gaps uh, in education and try to fill in the educational gaps to match the standards with all these fifth generation paradigms, I would call them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great. I wonder why such research is not done in our country where we really need that. We really, like our system is like there are three or four systems running parallel. There is O levels and there is the traditional matriculation and now there is the IB system. And, it's just total confusion. People really don't know,
Yeah.
what to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you allow me to say, my out of experience, this is what I'm going to say. It's the same in Malaysia. The world is shrinking to a point we are colliding. It's just like these galaxies. They intertwine, and the stars from one galaxy, stars of other galaxy, they twirl around and dance, and they attract, and the whole cosmic activity happens in a way where they become one. We have seen this phenomenon happening in the past as well, and we are moving towards it in the near future. Our Milky Way is destined to collide with the most nearest galaxy. I forgot the name of the galaxy. Is it Andromeda? Something.
Andromeda. Andromeda.
Andromeda. So
Yeah.
in the near future, like millions years from now, the two of the positioning and the traveling of both the galaxies is in a way they will collide and they will merge. Maybe they will collide. Some stars would collide, others would just become others planets, and God knows what's going to happen. The same way, exactly the same way, we are shrinking. The societies are coming so closely together because of the technological advancement. We are copying, we are adopting. Even in Malaysia, we have IB, we have the British system. They have their own systems as well. They have multiple lingual medium of instructions here because it's a highly advanced ethnic region, and they do acknowledge all the ethnicities. In Pakistan, we do not acknowledge the ethnicities, and we are murdering the ethnicities, like Sindhis and Balochis and KPK. And even within these major regional divisions, there are families and clans, and they have their own language, they have their own lifestyle. We're not promoting that, we're not representing that. That is why we find all the changes so out of place. Otherwise, these changes are happening almost everywhere, in Far East Asia, even in Europe, even in America. Yeah. Yeah.
But you see, like your thesis is going to be used in bridging the gap between what the market requires and what the educational
Yes,
currently is preparing
very
people
true.
for. So
Yes.
so you see, we need a study like this so that we can bridge the gap as well. And we have more of a challenge because we're a nation under debt. We have to pay off that debt. We have to make sure we have to make our future generation productive. Because you see, in the current scenario, what's happening is that most of our young people, they don't want to live in the country. They just want to, they want to migrate
Right.
anywhere,
Yeah, yeah.
like anywhere but here. So
This,
we that
this is
is,
now we are entering into political realm and
yeah, what we
economic
should not.
development of the
Yeah.
country. I don't mind commenting on it. It's my country as well, and I feel for it, and I bleed for it equally, like others
Mm,
are suffering and bleeding. Unfortunately, our economy has gone down even below the equilibrium point, and
mm,
there is no room for foreign investment. There is no room for development. When there is no foreign investment, then there is no room for development. The world that we live in, even Malaysia, the country's stability and country's growth is all dependent on its economic development. And the
mm,
saddest part is that we have natural resources sitting in Sindh, the highest reservoir of natural gas. We have mines of gold, and while we all know how
yeah,
rich and resourceful
yeah,
this piece of land is,
yeah,
tourism, my goodness, we here there are Hindu temples. It's a Muslim country, but it's a secular Muslim country. So there are Hindu temples, there are Buddhist temples, and people live in harmony here. And tourism is so high, you cannot identify which person is from which country. I mean, every second person is a tourist here when you go out. I've been to Buddhist temples, and I've been to Chinese temples here. 30% of the population is Chinese, about 20% of the population is Hindus, and then rest of the people are local Malays. And then on top of it, it has become an educational hub here. So a lot of international students like me show up. So what I'm trying to say is that we as a nation are trying to suffocate ourselves. I don't know why, but we have somehow gone so far in not getting identified with our basic roots, like the Indus Valley 7,000 years ago. And from there, we have to find our way into where we are right now. So, bridging all this tenure of 7,000 years, if we keep on shunning our own history, we
yeah,
don't have any identity to stand on. So we,
exactly.
unfortunately, we have the richest cultural history, and we have
Mm,
our own language, we have our own cuisine, which is so diverse. Everything is diverse. You talk about any major element which other countries are using. Egypt, for instance, is also a Muslim country, but they had a huge civilization of 3,500 years long. They preserve it. People go and have a look at pyramids. In Pakistan, unfortunately, you see a temple, you just, first thing you would do is just demolish it. We don't want to do
mm,
anything with it because this is not us. This is very
mm,
much us. This is where we all
mm,
came from. What, even if I'm if I belong to a third generation Christian family, my ancestors were Sikhs, my ancestors were Hindus. So I cannot run away from it. If I run away from it, then I'm cutting the cord from my roots. And if I'm cutting the cord from my roots, then I don't have any nourishment coming from my history. If I'm not taking nourishment from my history, then I'm questioning IB, then I'm questioning British teaching methodologies, then I'm questioning Europe, then I'm questioning everybody else around me. If my own roots are strong enough, then I'll be so secure to adopt anything and everything which other people are developing. That's how developed nations do. They don't reinvent the wheel themselves and say that, oh, we are
mm,
developed. They adopt technology, and that's how they collaboratively work, and that's how they collaboratively function. The world now is is getting together under one order, and the world order it's in itself is transforming it and is changing as a whole. The whole structure, the framework, the value of dollar, the superpower shift will be, there will be a huge shift in superpower, the whole management and structure as a whole. Unfortunately, Pakistan is too weak to sustain this change, and sadly it has everything to sustain, but still it won't be able to sustain in the future. We are brain draining for more than 3-4 decades, um,
Hmm.
and still we are. People are flying away and they don't want to come back, and it's very sad. Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah. Miss, sorry, it's the interview, sort of, that dynamic that you have to, speak to the guest in a formal manner. But no, of course, Ruth, always
It is
marvelous
formal
and
enough for me.
wonderful. Yeah.
My name is formal enough.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
You're always marvelous and wonderful, Ruth, and it's always a pleasure to talk to
Pleasure.
you. You are literally a well of knowledge, and we are missing you here. And I hope we see you here, and I hope that conditions are conducive to you coming home and putting all that knowledge and all that wisdom to work here.
Amen. I would love
Yeah,
to do
yeah,
that. I'm already
yeah.
in contact with some of my professors who have moved to LUMS and other universities, and I feel for my country. And definitely, whatever I am learning, it's all for my own country first and foremost,
Yeah.
and then for anything else. So I'm already. I've joined hands with several research oriented entities, and I want to bring back this research to Pakistan and make a comparative analysis or something of that sort. So yeah,
Yeah,
definitely,
that
why
would be
not? Yeah.
all the best wishes for you, Ruth, and may you
Thank you
keep
so
on
much.
flourishing and developing and growing, and
Thank you.
adding to the gray matter, which is really needed in the world. And
Absolutely.
we need wisdom, and we need a guiding hand to make sense of it all in this
Hmm.
current world where AI and all that this technology is going to be changing our lives,
Yeah.
and we can only hope that we let it change for the better.
True. Amen. Amen to all of it. And I hope for the change, and I hope for the best for my country first and foremost. And I pray that our generation and the generations to come would flourish and would see how blessed they are
Yeah.
being Pakistani. Yeah.
Yes. So thank you so much for being here, Ruth. It was marvelous talking to you. I mean, the time just flew by. I just lost all track of it. We were just so engrossed in all your marvelous ideas that you have and your words of wisdom indeed. Thank you so
Thank you.
much. Thank you.
Humbled by your words. Thank you. Take care of yourself. Yeah. Hope to
Okay.
see you again soon.
Inshallah. Inshallah. Okay. Bye
Inshallah.
bye.
Take care. Bye.